So you want to restore your credit. Great. Let's start off with the right plan and let's put all of those steps in actions. We're going to talk about 8 steps that's going to help you restore your credit. Okay, so who am I, right? I did collections in the past. I did mortgage collections. I was a mortgage broker. Each one of those fields, individual fields, and also I spent quite a long time in each one, at least 4 or 5 years in each. So I know how credit works, bad part of it, and also the good part of it when you want to purchase a home. So let's go ahead and get right to it. 8 steps. Step number 1, review your credit report. Review your credit report and get you a credit report from annualcreditreport.com. That's the only place I want you to get a free credit report from. You're going to get it from all 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Okay? They give you, it's a law, they have to give it to you even once a week now. It used to be once every year, but now you can go ahead and pull your credit every single week if you like. For free. They're not going to charge you anything. They will charge you to go ahead and get your credit score. But let's keep it real. We kind of know, if we're here, we kind of know that our credit score needs help. Okay. We're going to get down to how you can go ahead and look at credit score down in the video below. Okay. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to annualcreditreport.com. You're going to pull your 3 credit bureau reports. Okay. That's going to tell you what you need to focus on paying in terms of what's past due, in terms of what's in collection, perhaps, in terms of what do you actually have that's open, that's yours, because you go to dispute stuff that is actually not yours. And what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and make sure you verify the account balances, make sure you verify the actual name of the creditor that you asked for credit from. If you requested credit from, let's say, Capital One, and make sure that Capital One is the one that's on your credit report, not ABC Collection Company. We'll touch on that in this series somehow to go ahead and make sure that you know how to dispute stuff that's not yours. That video's coming soon. Okay, so this is pretty much part 2. Let me just go back a little bit here. This is part 2 of the first video that we did. And if you haven't seen that video, I suggest you look at it. It's going to be in the description below as well, which is 3 parts of how to reestablish your whole credit. This one, we're just going to focus on rebuilding the credit score. Okay, so what you want to do is to pay your bills on time. Everybody knows that, right? We need to pay our bills on time. So how do you pay? If you don't want to pay prior to the due date, which I strongly recommend, there's actually some techniques that you pay it before the statement date. Okay. There is a due date and there's a statement date on your actual statement that you get. And you want to go ahead and do it before the statement date, pay the entire balance in full so that you could go ahead and avoid interest. But that's not why we're here, because you already have compounding interest on your debts, or you have some charge-offs, right? So what you want to do is the small credits that you currently do have, you want to make sure that you're paying for those bills on time. You want to make sure that those creditors are also reporting you to the credit bureau that you're making your payments on time. Payment history has a large amount to do with what your credit score looks like. Okay, that means that you are credit worthy for any lender that you want to go ahead and get new credit from. They're going to look at your payment history from your past creditors. So what you want to do, you want to continue to focus on making sure that you're paying your payments on time. That's number 2. Number 3, let's go ahead and catch up on past due bills. Catch up on past due bills. So how are you going to do it? You're going to take the credit report that you just pulled, all 3 of them. Excuse me. You're going to take all 3 of them, and then you're going to say, you know what? I need to go ahead and start paying the smallest to the greatest. So let's say you have 3 past due bills, or you got 3 collections and everything else is straight. Well, you're going to focus on those 3 collections. If one is $1,000 and one is $1,500 and the other is $2,000, start off with $1,000 and then either call them and do a payment plan, small payment plan. They're going to want you to go ahead and pay off the past due bill immediately, right? Because as a collector, what we used to do is whoever brings in the most money in on that month, the higher our bonuses were, right? So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your responsibilities. So what are your responsibilities? Getting on a new payment plan for those past due debts. So let's say they want you to go ahead and make $200-$300 payment per month. Yeah, that's going to benefit them. Now, if you could make that $200-$300 payment per month, great. Make that $200-$300 payment per month. But if you cannot, if you could only make a $25 payment per month, then go ahead and try your best to go ahead and get on a payment plan, even if it's with a down payment of, let's say, $200. And then you're going to make $25 per month until you go ahead and either A, get your income tax money back and then pay that all at once, or B, you say, okay, I need to go ahead and make $25 per month, and that's all I could afford because I have other creditors that I want to make sure that I also pay as well. So get on a payment plan to go ahead and start resolving that debt. Okay, once you resolve the smallest debt, the medium-sized debt, and the higher debt is going to follow, and it's going to be so much easier. You're going to feel so much better because you actually paid off at least one of those. Once you've paid that one off, what you then want to do is ask them to remove that negative debt from your credit. If they don't, then you're going to go ahead and send, I could show you on a later video how to send letters to dispute if A, they haven't resolved that the balance is already paid off. It's going to show on your credit report as paid in full, or it could show like a balance was negotiated to pay it in full. So what you want to make sure you do is you take that one debt, pay it off, and then immediately go to the credit bureaus and say, this is what I need to go ahead and make sure that I clear. Okay, so I'll touch base on that in this series as well. All right, that's step number 3. Step number 4, become an authorized user on someone's account. So let's say, for instance, your spouse has a credit card that is in great standing. Well, you want to go ahead and then get on that credit card. Don't use a credit because you don't need to be back here where you're at right now. You just want to show credit bureaus, you want to show them that you are establishing new credit and that you have other people that could give you credit and they trust you. So all they want to see is that other creditors give you new credit. If they do that, guess what happens? They're also going to give you new credit because obviously someone trusted you to become an authorized user. So that's going to help in terms of A, how old is that credit card that your spouse just put you in? And when I say spouse, it can be a friend, it could be a brother, it could be a sister. Okay, just find that person that's willing to do that for you. Okay, that is very tricky if it's not within the actual family. Why? Because nobody wants to actually put anyone on their credit unless it's direct family and they're able to go ahead and control that credit card. And you got to be very mindful of that, of who are you going to ask. But get authorized on another person's credit card so that you could start showing that you do have credit and it's either a high balance or it's been a very old credit card for that person, because that also shows that you have now established credit with a very old credit card. It's insane how that works, but it works, and that's how you start restoring your credit. Okay, so step number 5, okay, is get you a secured credit card. Get your secured credit card. Okay, so if you have a large amount of money coming in, let's say $400 or $500, yeah, that's large for some people. Even if it's $1,000 or even if it's $500, there are companies out there that give you what's called a secured credit card. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to take that $500. I think the lowest that I've actually seen it is $250. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go to that bank or that credit card company, and you're going to say, I want to open up a secured credit. You're going to give them $200 or $250. And some companies now, what they do is they either match you. They'll say, okay, you gave us $250. Your credit line is going to be $500. There's others that may not do that. Okay. So you look for the one that benefits you the most. How does that help you? Because basically what that shows the credit bureaus is that now that you have a new credit card from, let's say, Capital One, right? And it's a $250 limit. That's how that's going to help you. That's a secured credit card. You're showing the credit bureaus again that you are getting new credit. You then utilize that credit card like we spoke in the first video of the series. You're going to go ahead and start utilizing that little by little. There's more details on that on how to use your credit card on the first video of this series. Step number 6 is to keep your credit utilization below 10%. There's a lot of videos out there that say 30%. 30% is great, but I highly recommend that you do 10% because credit utilization, what does that mean? First of all, credit utilization is, let's say for instance, you have a credit card. You only have one. Just an example. You only have one credit card and it's $1,000. Well, you then want to make sure that you do not use more than $100 from that credit card. Why? Because your credit utilization, then the lenders are looking at it, or the credit bureaus are also looking at it and say, wow, this person uses a lot of their credit. So you don't want them to think that you're using too much of your credit. How do you establish that? Is to keep it below 10%. Okay, step number 7. Step number 7 is simple. There's a lot of companies now, a lot of credit card companies especially, or even installment loan companies that do only soft pulls. So instead of getting a credit card that does hard pull is basically when they actually look at your entire credit report and they pull that from the credit bureaus. And then that goes as an inquiry on your credit report. So once that goes on the credit report as an inquiry, that hurts your credit as well, because now they're seeing that you're looking for credit too much. So you do not want to pull credit, or you do not want to go ahead and try to get credit from any company, whether it's a credit card or whether it's an installment loan that is going to go ahead and say hard pull, or it doesn't say anything at all. If it's a soft pull, it's most likely going to say, this does not impact your credit score. It's a soft pull. Or it would just say something like, it's a soft pull, won't impact your credit score. Okay? So you just want to pull credit. Once you do all those other steps, you want to just pull your credit to see if you're qualifying for new credit only based on soft pull only. Okay. That's going to go ahead. If you get denied, they'll send you a letter as to why you're denied, and then you work on those things. Or your revolving debt is too high, or your credit utilization is too high, or you've had too many inquiries in the past, or your credit score is too low. All of that, it'll be dictated in that letter. It'll also show you your credit score. Okay. So that's a free way to get the actual credit score that the lenders are looking at. Step number 8, quite simple. Get on one of those credit monitoring systems, whether it's Credit Karma, whether it's through your bank. Most of the banks now, they do have a way to go ahead and monitor your credit. So you want to continue to monitor your credit, maybe on a weekly basis, to make sure that nobody is opening credit on your name, that everything that you're paying off is actually being reported, that everything that you're actually paying on time is also being reported accurately. Okay. Those are the 8 steps that you could do starting today. Okay. Rewind step number 1, step number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you restore your credit. Thank you for listening.